Welcome to Memories of the Heart, where love endures, memories linger, and every story touches the soul. Memories of the Heart.
Here is another letter from a listener, Emma, who shares an unforgettable story about uncovering a life-altering truth. Her journey is a testament to love, resilience, and the mysteries that shape us. This is Emma's story.
Dear Heart, I never thought I'd be the type to write into a program like yours, but something about listening to other people's stories gave me the courage to share my own. It's about a letter I received. A letter that changed everything I thought I knew about my life. It all started on an ordinary Thursday. I was cleaning out my late mother's house, going through old boxes that hadn't been touched in years. She had passed away just a few months earlier, and sorting through her belongings felt like opening pieces of her soul. Among the photo albums and trinkets, I found an envelope with my name on it. The handwriting was unmistakable, my father's. The strange thing was, my father had died over 20 years ago. The envelope was yellowed with age, sealed tightly, and marked with the date, October 4th, 2003. My hands trembled as I opened it. Inside was a single page, written in his familiar cursive. The words felt like a whisper from beyond the grave.
Dear Emma, if you're reading this, it means I wasn't brave enough to tell you the truth while I was alive. But now, I have no choice. You deserve to know that the person you think I am, the man who raised you, is not your real father.
My world tilted. For 34 years, I had believed I was his daughter. The man who taught me to ride a bike, who sang lullabies to me when I couldn't sleep, wasn't my biological father. My mind raced with questions. Who was my real father? Did my mother know? Why had no one told me? I forced myself to keep reading.
Your real father is someone I've known for many years. Someone I trusted, someone I loved like a brother. His name is Peter.
Peter, my father's best friend. The man who had been like an uncle to me growing up. Memories of him flashed in my mind. His warm laugh, the way he always brought me candy when he visited. Could it be true? The letter went on.
I discovered the truth when you were just a baby. Your mother and I had a terrible fight, and she admitted the affair. She begged me not to leave, and I stayed because I loved you. I raised you as my own because I couldn't bear the thought of losing you. But now, with my time running out, I need you to know the truth. I hope you can forgive me for keeping this from you. With all my love, Dad.
By the time I finished reading, tears streamed down my face. My entire identity felt like a lie. I spent days trying to process the revelation, but I knew I couldn't move on without confronting Peter. When I finally called him, I could hear the hesitation in his voice.
Emma, I was wondering when you'd find out.
We met at a small cafe the next day. He looked older, more tired than I remembered. When I asked him if the letter was true, he didn't deny it.
Your mother and I made a mistake, but you were always your father's daughter in every way that mattered.
The conversation was emotional but surprisingly calm. He answered my questions, but one thing still didn't sit right with me. If he was my biological father, why had he never told me? few weeks later, as I was settling back into life, I received another letter. This one wasn't handwritten, it was typed, and it didn't have a return address. Inside was a single sentence that sent chills down my spine. Peter isn't your father either. That's when everything unraveled. I dug deeper, asking questions of my mother's old friends and relatives, searching for answers. One name kept coming up, a name I had never heard before: Daniel. He was a neighbor who had lived down the street when I was a baby, someone my mother had been close to before abruptly cutting ties. When I finally tracked him down, the truth hit me like a freight train. Daniel wasn't just a man my mother knew. He was my biological father. He showed me letters, photographs, and even DNA test results that proved it beyond a doubt. Daniel confessed something I never saw coming. My father, the man who raised me, knew all along that Peter wasn't my real father either. He had written the letter as a way to misdirect me, to keep me from discovering the truth about Daniel. Why? Because Daniel wasn't just some neighbor. He was my mother's abuser, a man she had fled to protect me. My father had been trying to shield me from a past too dark to comprehend. By the time I pieced everything together, I realized how much my father had sacrificed for me. He had carried the weight of someone else's sins so I could live a life free of that shadow. Now, every time I think about him, I feel both heartbreak and gratitude. He may not have been my biological father, but he was my dad in every way that mattered. Thank you for letting me share my story. I hope it reminds your listeners that sometimes the people who love us most are the ones who carry the heaviest burdens. Sincerely, Emma. Thank you, Emma, for sharing such a deeply moving and complex story. It's a reminder that love isn't always simple, but it's in the choices we make that love truly shines. Until next time, dear listeners, take care of your hearts and the hearts of those you hold dear.